Hey everyone, thank you so much for clicking on this video. I really appreciate it. So in this video, I want to talk about how I saved over $800 on my grocery bill this month. So it all started with the last month. I realized that I had run out of my grocery budget and I was spending a lot of money. So I decided that actually in November, I decided that at the start of that month, I was going to spend like I normally spend, but I was going to save every single receipt. And at the end of the November, I added up all the receipts of everything that I spent on household, toiletries, groceries, and takeout, and it was $1,500. You heard that right, $1,500. I couldn't believe it. So I purposed in my heart that I was going to make sure that I was planning my meals and tracking my spending, and that I would not spend so much money on food the next month. You know, if I could cut down that bill in half, there's a lot that I could do with that money. And honestly, some of that money, I don't even know where it went. Most of it was takeout, not thinking, not planning, overbuying things, buying things that I already had in the freezer, just buying them again because I hadn't prepared. So in this video, I'm going to be sharing 8 tips that I personally did this month, in the month of December 2020, to save $800 on my grocery bill this month compared to last month. So the first thing that I did at the start of this month was I listed all the meals that I was going to make for the month of December. I know that can be a big task, but it really helps to go through and decide what night you're going to be making certain things. Just a rough estimate of, meals for 30 days. Some days are going to be leftovers, but write everything out and see exactly how it looks to prepare, different breakfasts, lunches, and dinners for 30 days. Even if you just do dinners, and you rely on leftovers and just sandwiches and snacky things for lunch, this can be a big help. Number 2 is, before you shop, take an inventory of your fridge and freezer. So to avoid buying things over and double and triple time, I went into the freezer and I looked at what I had, and I made a list, an inventory of what meats I have, what vegetables, frozen vegetables I had, what condiments I had. It takes time, but it's really worth it to do this so that you can compare what you have with your meal plan and then make a list of what exactly you need to buy for the month. Then, number 3 is I start with one large shop for the month. So I usually take my husband with me and we go out and we buy bulk, a lot of the things that we need for the entire month. So if you know you need, say, 10 servings of chicken for your family, you're going to go out, you're going to get the best price, and you're going to go out and get your chicken. You're going to buy all your pasta. You're going to buy all the things that you know you need, like maybe 2 or 3 containers of milk, or so you know that at least in the next week or two, for the first half of the month, you're going to have everything you need in that one shop. That's what I do. And I normally spend $300 to $400. Now, my family, in my household, there's 7 people. So I'm trying to keep my grocery budget to $150 to $175 per week. And I think that's doable and that's reasonable. I mean, there's some people that I think that as I do this and as I get better at it, I can cut that down even more. But that's kind of my goal right now. So one big shop at the beginning of the month. Then number 4 would be, when you're doing that first big shop, when you make your list, estimate the cost of each item on that list. You can take it even a step further. If you know you're buying apples, a bag of apples, and you're saying, okay, I think that apples are going to be $5. That might be expensive, but I live in Canada and a lot of our produce is expensive. If you get to the grocery store and the bag of apples is $7, then you can be flexible and decide to say, you know what, maybe I'll buy a bag of oranges instead for the kids. So estimate your costs, so that I do a rough estimate now. So I said, okay, if these prices are in line, then I know that I'll be spending about $200 or $300 or $400 for this first big shop and not going over that. So when I see the prices in the store, I not only check off that I have the item, I check off that the price is in line with what I estimated the price would be. Number 5 is only shop 4 times for the month, so once a week. When I added up all of the receipts from the previous month, I realized that I went to the grocery store 23 times in 30 days. That's a lot of trips to the grocery store. And I know that if you're just going to the grocery store just to buy milk, you're going to end up with other things. You're going to see sales. You're going to go by the impulse aisle and you're going to end up buying more than you need. So what I tried to do this month was I did my big shop. That's the one big shop for the month. And then I didn't need to do another shop until 2 weeks into the month. So now I only have 2 weeks left in the month. So I give myself 3 other small shops in between that time. And if I've done my shop for the week, I don't go back to the store. If I don't have it, I have to do without. And that just trains you to be disciplined and to use what you have. And it actually helps you save a lot of money. So number 6, I believe this is be less picky. When it comes to food, we open up the fridge, it's full of food, but we have nothing to eat. So I just decided to be more content with what I have, and it's okay to eat leftovers, and it's okay to use up the foods that you have because you have your end goal in mind. You know, one of my goals is that I want to pay off my mortgage. My mortgage is $500,000. So it's going to take a lot of discipline and a lot of extra money to throw at that mortgage. And my goal is to pay that down in 10 years or less. So I really do need to make some sacrifices. And when I'm eating leftovers or I'm eating something that I ate a couple of days ago and I'm eating it again because it's a cheaper type of meal, in the back of my head, I keep my goals in mind. And I say, you know what, it's worth it to be less picky with food so that I can save more money to reach my other financial goals. So, and then the other 2 tips are, number 7 is save your receipts and review your receipts after the end of the month. So you can see, you know what, I bought 10 cartons of eggs this month, or I bought 20 bags of chips or something. And you can see tangibly, you know, on a list what you can reduce for next month, what you would keep the same, or what changes you would make for the next month. And the last one, I kind of touched on this, but be satisfied with what's on your plate. Be satisfied with what you have. And just I would say practice more contentment with the foods that you have. You don't always need to eat steak. You don't always need to eat shrimp. You don't always need to eat all of those. You know, it's always not a feast and a party. Sometimes it's just about nourishing yourself and just being thankful for the food that you have and what you're able to afford. So that's it. I hope that makes sense. That's my 8 tips, and that's what I personally did this month. I can honestly say it was a little bit of work to get that list of meals done for 30 days. But once it was done, I keep it with me. I have it with me for the whole month. I check off all the meals that I've already made. I know exactly what foods I have left in the freezer and what my other choices to make are. So it actually makes making meals, dinners and things for the rest of the month pretty easy. I focus on dinners because my breakfast and lunch are pretty much the same. And I'm not too picky with those, but I like to have, you know, a hearty, nice meal for dinner. And I end up having to cook those. So let me know in the comments if that works for you. And if you want to join this No Spend 2021 challenge, a couple of YouTubers I watch are doing it. Definitely leave me a comment